Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and I do this program because I know there's some kind of spiritual awakening happening around the country, around the planet, and all of us are tuning into a higher vibration, a higher connection to our true self. At least that's been my own experience. And this program is an exploration into my own research and other people I've met along the way who've had similar and different experiences, but along those same lines. So tonight I have a guest who I actually don't know that much about, but I heard it's a fantastic story, and his name is Robert Young. He's from Australia, and I want to hear the whole thing, because what I did hear about this transformation that happened to you was, I believe it, I know it's true, but I want to hear it from you. So let's start at the beginning. Okay.
Well, Alan, the beginning is hard to put your finger on.
Okay, but I heard that there was another personality that you were, and then this car accident happened, and when you came back to life in a way, you were a whole different person. So who were you before, what happened, and who are you now?
Okay, it's really hard to separate from the physical side of things.
Yeah.
Because as an engineer, I was an engineer before the accident.
Yes.
I'm still an engineer.
Okay, a different kind of engineer.
That's right.
Okay.
But I still design electrical things, and I've been involved in lots of major projects.
Okay.
The quality of which has changed slightly since the accident.
So what happened? So you were kind of a normal guy, right?
Yes.
Like a beer drinking Australian kind of guy, like to talk, hang out with the guys, right?
Yeah.
And their mates, right, as they call it. And then what was that moment, or what went on there?
Okay, let's have a look at the story a little bit closer. I was married for 27 years. Okay. 4 children, and they'd all grown and pretty well say that they were self-motivated and well on the road in life.
Right.
I was working in Sydney and coming home at weekends, and in January of 1986.
1986?
Yes.
86, okay.
Yeah, so it's a fair while ago. I was coming back from Sydney and travelling on the freeway, and a large truck came across the centre of the freeway and into my path, and we had a head-on collision. So, with all records and with all the details, I shouldn't be here.
Right. What happened to the body in that situation?
So the body actually was preserved fairly well. As in most accidents, sternum broken in 2 places, each side of the seat belt. Few broken ribs and limbs, and but the major thing was the subtle damage to the left frontal lobe. So it was classed as brain damage. But the thing that is probably most significant is when I look back, I can see a lot better than you can as you're looking forward or living in the moment.
What do you mean looking back?
So I look back now and I can remember lots about the accident. But there were 5 years where I was getting over brain damage. And the story starts at the end of 5 years. That's when I suddenly knew who I was.
In 1991?
Yes.
What happened?
I'd actually been doing a lot of work to improve myself.
Physically, because of the damage.
That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
And I used to walk a lot and go into the bush, we call it the woods.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of work with the trees that I didn't know what I was doing at the time.
What do you mean? Like holding trees?
Well, yeah, you communicate with them, they help you and you help them. And I knew about that, but I didn't know that was not known by anybody else.
What would the trees communicate to you?
They'd actually assist you with energy. And when you knew they needed help, you would pass energy to them, and they'd actually rain on you.
The trees would rain
on
you?
Oh yeah, very fine mist. They're very, very gentle beings there.
But you didn't have that awareness before the accident?
No. I had no awareness of anything apart from going to work.
You didn't have any goal, any spiritual connection at all, any religion?
No, I was born a Catholic, but that's all.
And you didn't really believe any of that stuff. It was just...
You just did what you did. Yes.
So in 1991,
yep.
And then in the process with these trees, but in 1991, what happened?
I went to a course which was called Mind Powers, and it was a course over a period of about 4 weeks, and you turned up once a week, on some occasions twice a week, and it was basically a screening for people who were looking to advance themselves.
Okay.
And at the end of the course, there was the possibility that you would be invited to a live-away camp for 8 days. When I got to the end of the program, I knew I had to go to this camp.
Yeah.
And I remember very clearly going home and sitting on the end of the bed and wondering, what can I do to make this happen? And this is where it gets a little bit strange.
Give me all the strange stuff. We're used to it on this program. No, really, the stranger, not the better, but feel free to talk about all that.
Fine.
No.
In those days, we had what we called rabbit ears on top of the TV, and there was a TV sitting in the bedroom, elevated just above the wardrobe, and there was these rabbit ears on the top.
Like a little antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I could actually fire that antenna up, I could send the message to where I needed to send it to make things happen. Okay. So I sat there and allowed my energy to rise, and all of a sudden the antennas lit up with a bluey purple glow. Okay. And then as I increased the energy, the spark started between the antennas, and it rose up and went out into the atmosphere. How did you know how to increase your energy like that? I had no idea. That was the first instance of, like you just said to yourself. Do those things, yeah. And even then, I didn't know that wasn't normal. No. Right. I did get the message across, by the way. You sent a message to somebody else via the antenna? Yeah. What kind of message was that? That I could turn up to one of these courses. And that I needed to. Didn't matter whether it was in Sydney or Melbourne. But I heard also after this accident, you didn't know who you were, you didn't know who your family was. Talk about that, okay. and then how you remembered this other self. Basically, while I was ill, classed as having brain damage, I was getting used to using the body. And I didn't recognise people so well because it was guarded under the name of brain damage. So all my family and friends and everything understood if I didn't understand, and they understood if I didn't know them. So you didn't recognise them? That's true. At all? Some, yeah. Some. I had a knowledge of my past, but it was like reading a black and white, looking at black and white photos. No connection. No, and no colour. And no colour. Just like, like that. Yeah. So unless I was put to a particular event and then led into it, I really didn't know much about it. Well, can I just come out and say, were you something like a walk-in? Do you know what they are? Yeah, I found that out later on. Right. So the old personality or the old soul actually left, whoever that Robert Young was. You came in on a higher vibration. Yeah. And you took over the body and started to get used to the body. That's true. But the interesting thing is, where did you come from before you came into the body? That question comes up probably every 10 minutes of every day. To yourself? Yes. do you have any... I get closer each time. Well, what do you... But there are no words on this earth that can explain where you come from and who you are and what your name is. But the feeling And the knowledge, just like I spoke to you, we have met.
Yeah, you said that. You said when you looked at me, we met.
Yeah.
We met.
We know.
On some other place.
Yes. So there is a world that I'm very familiar with, where the tools we have are quite different to here, and where the knowing we have is quite different to here.
Well, can you talk about the tools and the knowing, because I think that's what I'd like to explore.
Okay. The knowing is recognition.
When you look at someone, you recognize it.
Yes. Okay. Have you ever walked along in a shopping centre and there's thousands of people there and there's someone way up the back that catches your eye?
Yeah.
And you know them, but you never see them again.
But also, if you look beyond the body, you always know that soul essence in that person.
That's true. I don't actually see the body that well. I see people as they are, not as they present.
So what are the other tools from this place that you've come from?
It's a real simplicity, and lots of the things are demonstrated in everyday life. And the one I like to use regularly is how we teach children to ride a bicycle. We hold the seat, we put them on the seat, tell them to hold the handles and pedal. And that's the total of our instructions. Okay. And off we go. And we transmit to them totally everything they have to do to ride the bike.
I mean, psychically sending them that.
It's sent from here.
From the heart.
And from all around you. And there's a protection around them. And we do it every day. But you notice, you get to a point where you can take your hand off. They keep riding.
Right.
Because we're still transmitting. If they lose confidence, they cut the transmission. If you step back too far, you cut the transmission, they fall over.
So that's really how children learn to ride bike, with this energy transfer.
But they don't learn. I'll go further.
Yeah, tell me.
When they feel confident, they start to look into their own system and they open up their filter and they ride off. They're not so good. They wander a little bit, they ride off, and they turn around and they come back and say to you, look what I'm doing. They don't say thanks for teaching me. This is what is available to us. We use it every day, and it comes from where our origin is.
So I'm just trying to take that example of riding bike and say, like, when I'm confident in a particular profession, then it opens up to me and it's just riding along, or confident in making money in a particular way. It's just the feeling that kind of gets solidified.
Not quite.
Okay, tell me.
It gives you enough confidence to open up your energy flow into your world.
Because without the confidence, my energy isn't opening.
You've got a big filter that you close across the top of your head, and you say nothing's coming in unless I say so.
This is what we do all the time.
Yes.
So how do we remove the filter?
By having confidence while the transmission's coming direct from somebody else. We can try it and say, yes, that's the same. Yes. Okay, I've got it.
Oh, actually might help me write this book that I've been...
And that's, been with us for many, many years. You go to read some mathematics and you go so far and then the light comes on.
Yeah.
And you say, I've got it.
Yeah.
And you know more than what's in the book.
Because you're pulling in energy from other places.
You've opened your filter to your world.
This is a whole reevaluation of education.
Yes.
And,
why do you think the young people come in now and they can give you the answers, but they can't tell you how they worked it out?
Because they're just pulling it in from the...
It's not a logical world.
Because the world isn't logical. It's not left brain. It's bigger.
The answer is there, and if they can then decipher how the world wants to see it, well, they've won the game.
So all this came to you, and then how do you live your life moment to moment in presence and happiness and peace?
Yeah, I don't know any different.
You don't get worried about anything or upset, or if someone cuts you off in traffic?
Yeah, that can happen.
Right.
But then you know you've slipped into the play world.
Uh-huh.
I suppose I better go into that as well.
Yeah, come, please. Come out with it all, come on.
When we arrive here, we're given two worlds.
Uh-huh. The humans, when we're born, okay.
We're given a play world and the world of the Creator.
Uh-huh.
And one won't go into the other. Mm-hmm. That's the agreement.
You mean the personality, let's say, in the soul? Or
no,
I mean, just...
the two worlds that we can have at the switch of a desire.
When you say the play world, what do you mean?
That's the one we live in every day, and we can make things, we can ruin things, we can make mistakes, we can call for help, all that, and nothing happens.
Okay.
Except what we're responsible for, and that's our free will. Mm-hmm. That's really what the dividing line between free will and the world of your Creator, where everything's perfect.
So is the other world where everything...
You don't need any will, because everything fits. Mm-hmm. It's like the ocean. You can jump in the ocean and you can put your hand out and pour acid all over yourself and nothing happens. It's dissipated.
Right.
But you stand outside the ocean, pour acid over yourself, you can't get enough sea to wash it off. You've damaged yourself. Because in the ocean you're safe, out of the ocean won't fix you. So asking your Creator to come into your play world doesn't work.
We have to go into the world
of the Creator.
And how do we do that?
It takes 0.2 of a second, actually.
Is it like riding a bicycle, though?
No, it's it's not. It's actually an instant acceptance and an instant thought. Mm-hmm. That's probably one of the biggest things that people have difficulty with, because they can't see how simple it is.
Well, tell me. I want to. God, I mean.
The simplicity.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
I
From a technical point of view.
Yeah.
We talk about our brain only operating 10% or maybe a bit more, and we're working really hard at getting it to go more. Mm-hmm. That's because the brain's not used for what it's supposed to be used for.
What's it supposed to be used for?
For direct connection to your Creator, to your source.
Okay.
Once you decide you're going to connect directly to your source, 100% of your brain turns on and you can feel it.
And that's just a decision?
A decision.
So if I say I'm going to connect to my source now?
Yep. And you just go, and it's connected.
Okay.
And you'll feel, as you are, the energy building around your head. And you can get a little child and ask them to feel around your head, and it feels like champagne bubbles.
Well, it feels like I'm actually outside my head.
Good.
Okay.
Exactly correct.
Okay.
Once that happens, everything's fed back to you automatically. It's like a TV station. If you're relaying between one city and another, you transmit more than just one picture. You've got signals, you've got prompts, you've got feedbacks, you've got multiplexes, and you've got it set up so that more than one program is operating at once. So you can understand what happens if a technician comes up and pulls some of those leads out and says, I want to experiment with them and play with something. Then all the signals to the TVs get mucked up. And so you end up with wrong channels, wrong programs, incorrect prompts, wrong words coming to you, so everything gets confused.
So you're saying when we're this expanded awareness, we have all those channels coming into us, and when we come into the ego personality, we lock it down, and all those other things aren't connecting in.
That's right. So we tear part of it away, of our communication, and we find we've got a faulty communication system between ourselves and between the world. And that's when you feel this direct communication, where people start to steal energy from one another.
Because they're missing that bigger connection, and they don't even know that they can have it.
That's right.
And you're saying it's that simple, just, how'd you do it again? No, I forgot. No.
It's just a case of deciding that 100% of your brain is going to connect to your source, whatever source you call it.
Okay.
At one stage I saw people having so many problems, I really asked, no, I didn't ask, I demanded a solution to everything. Not to some things, I wanted a solution to everything.
To all the dramas people having, love, hate, war.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I was walking along the waterfront near some beautiful trees, and this message came to me so strongly that my knees buckled.
Okay.
And simply said, at all times, think of me and nothing else. This is the solution to everything.
So think of me being this expanded consciousness?
Yeah, whatever you think.
Or the creator.
The creator or the greatest thing in your life. It might be a butterfly. It doesn't matter. But at all times, not sometimes.
At all times?
At all times. And didn't say nobody else, it said nothing else. So people say to me, but how can I drive the car? How can I look after the children? I said, you try it for 5 minutes under the right conditions and you will never stop.
I'm getting it. You're actually the guy holding the bicycle seat, aren't you?
That's right.
Because I'm getting it. I'm getting that expanded awareness.
Yeah. And it grows and grows and grows every day.
Wow.
And what's fed back to you is always correct. What you pass on to other people goes through the filter that's required to pass correctly to every other person.
You know, there's also like a healing element in this awareness too.
There is.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
In our whole being, the awareness is such that we know one another so well that we don't have to think. And in that you can feel everything. And you can feel if somebody's back's hurting a little bit. You can feel if they're a little uncomfortable. And you can change that. Each one of us has a gift for everybody in the world. And we can look at somebody and say, yes, I really desire that that person is perfect and their life is perfect and they have no problems at all, and you'll feel the energy grow and it'll go to them and it will happen.
Wow.
So you imagine for yourself if everybody in the world did that to you, how good you'd feel. And it is happening.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's beyond, it's sort of our natural way of being.
Correct.
And so if we could just live that way.
The only people who really know about it are mothers.
Yeah. They have that natural feeling.
They just say straight out, nobody will touch my child. And it goes right through the universe. Not just the world.
So you came in with all this, I mean, you came back or you walked in.
Yeah, but I didn't know that I didn't fit. I have no idea, even now, the standards of the world.
Well, you don't need to know. There are no standards.
That's right.
Really. But you came in just with the knowing that this was true.
Yes.
So would you say you come back to be a teacher of this? I mean, or
I'm an invited guest, put it that way.
Okay.
Just as you are.
Okay. Okay, but
We're guests, and it's of the form where you have to be there and you have to be in your true form. Like if you invited some special, maybe the Queen onto stage, and she started telling everybody where to put the microphone and where to put the chair, she'd say, stop. You're only here to sit there and be who you are. You can have a project, but we'll organise it for you. We have a project, and it's being organised for us.
You,
and you.
And me.
Yeah.
So if I, like most people say, if you get out of the way, the personality, and then what your real potential will show up.
Yes.
But
by getting out of the way, that's a bit back to front. It's stop doing what you're doing.
Just Wu wei wu, do not doing, as the Chinese Taoists say.
It is.
Yeah. So this is it. Is more revelation coming to you every day?
Every day.
What's coming?
Well, we speak every day, and
We speak. When you say we, so going.
Oh, you've got me again.
No, because I want to understand where you're coming from.
I have guidance and connection, even in the verbal sense, with the source, and I do speak regularly with what I'd call a twin.
An energetic twin self.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some time, I wrote a lot because in that brain damaged state, the best thing to do, I found, was to write.
Would you say your twin is a part or being that still hasn't come into the earth, but still where you came from?
Yes.
I see. And so you would
and
write.
He eventually gave his name as Simeon.
Okay.
And you've heard of other entities or groups of entities that have various names. Simeon was there because it felt like a brother and a twin. So I feel what he thinks and he feels what I think.
Well, couldn't you ask him, hey, where are you from? Or what? I mean, maybe you don't need to know all that. Or.
But there are no English words.
Right.
The only thing I get is when he enters, he says, "This is Simeon, coming to you from the outer reaches of the universe, bringing you energies to support you through the day and to support everyone around you." And what has been developed over a period is a two-way communication. I don't know if you realise, but when you don't have any problems, you don't know why people are saying, "Can you fix my problem?"
Right.
Because you don't know what it is.
But would you say you're sort of channeling Simeon, or does he come through you and speak through you?
He does, yeah, but it's not like I bring somebody into my field. It's already part of me.
I mean, would he have something to say now? Or
It's behind me all the time.
I mean,
he helps me speak.
He helps you, but it's no different than you speaking.
No, none at all. So if you've been a twin, you'd know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You can finish people's sentences. You can finish the other twin's sentence easily.
But on a soul level, we don't need anybody. We don't need the twin. We are the creator itself.
That's true. But you've got to interface with sections of the universe and of this world, because that's where we are.
So with Simeon, you have something to say to me. What, please? I mean, if you have.
If we talk directly to Simeon, he's going to actually lead us every day into what is the best thing to do on a daily basis. Very clearly, I get up of a morning, and since being with Barbara, we're starting to tape this, and I know where to go and what to do. And it's a great thing to look back on the next day and see that, well, all these things happen, because when you're told things ahead of time, you really don't know exactly what it means until you've looked back on the event.
But you could have the same awareness Simeon had and just follow that through you.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But anyway, so you're led through the day to do certain things.
Okay. The big difference is when you're in the physical world and you're in denser energies, you miss things. You become influenced by things. You walk through a shopping centre and you walk through that smog of somebody's argument. Your energy gets...
And you absorb it as well. Yeah,
that's right. And so to get past that, you need that channel to come through and offset what's happened. And also, you need the purity of the vibrations from outside this earth to be able to feed to people who are communicating through my eyes back to Simeon.
So what kind of things would he say to you, or say now? Or?
The main thing is not verbal. The main thing is energy. So when we sat together and you felt that comfort.
Yeah, the connection.
Yes.
Yes.
But that was actually the energy coming through and settling both of us.
Well, I actually feel even more comfortable now.
Yeah.
So because more of the energy came through.
Yes. Because there's a feedback. through me so that they know what you need because you're telling them.
I'm actually telling them what I need.
Yeah.
And isn't that happening all the time because we're all connected?
No, because there's an agreement between the play world and the world of the Creator. Unless you're actually stepped into that world of the Creator, which we don't do often enough, unless you've stepped in there, they don't know what your problem is. They don't know what you need to settle you. They don't know what will settle your energy.
So by having that expanded awareness and then asking from that place for help or guidance, then they know because you're on that frequency, or there's like a doorway open.
Correct.
In a way.
It's like two-way communication.
Right.
And that also brings into the story of extraterrestrial beings.
Okay.
Of our galactic friends.
In what way?
They're the ones who provide the vibration that's necessary.
But there's a whole range of extraterrestrial beings.
There is.
Right.
And they all have a part in making sure that everything is clear and concise and correct for your progress forward and for my progress forward. The world itself has such a mix of everything that the order that we talk about in the play world side of things is not there. The only order is in the world of your Creator.
But I was just talking to Roland Smith about a tipping point. Are we moving as a planet and as individuals to this, what's called 2012 something? What do you get from that, about that?
The basic vibration in the Earth and in the universe for that time is already here.
The vibration of this cosmic energy is
yes, it's already here.
But the Earth itself is not aware, or the people on the Earth is not aware of it.
The people of the Earth aren't aware of it.
Right, okay.
And a major part of the vibration that you feel on the Earth is from people.
Right, that's the problem, right?
Well, it's like disturbances in the Earth. They say, why do people live on a fault line? In fact, it's people that create the fault line.
Through their thoughts.
Yes.
So where are we moving towards? And I guess what you're here for is to help this change, this transformation.
That's true. The extent of it, I get every day, progressively in lumps that I can handle. If we got the whole scope in one go, we'd just pack up and go home.
Why?
It's so big.
But give us the little pieces that you get. Can you share that?
The little pieces are not little.
Okay, well, give us the big, give us whatever you can.
Well, just take this trip to the United States. Never been here before. 3 months before I left, had no idea I was coming here. I met Barbara, my partner, and it wasn't until a month or so ago that we decided to come to the United States, under the pretense that we're meeting the family and friends.
Right, that's what it looked like on the outside.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think it was a day before I left, I was told that I would start to open things up to the world. And I had no idea how that would happen. But I was told the extent of it, and I actually got a little bit shaky.
Okay.
Because there's nothing in front of you to indicate anything.
Right.
We're just going to get on a plane and go and see some people.
Right.
But there was one thing that was planted with me 6 years ago, and it's the name of a little... It was just a name that I was told to go and register as a business name under my company. And it was called Spiritual Entertainment. And behind that is, it's quite different to what everybody thinks. It's entertaining your spirit.
Okay.
Making you jump out of your tree, before...
how would you entertain the spirit?
Hit a home run on the
or read
on
poetry,
a special day,
or
and read poetry, sing, and it takes you past all your limitations in a second.
Like what do you have in mind? Like what?
That was one of the things that was given to me that I had nothing in mind.
Right. It was just given to you. Say, just take this, get this name. Yeah. We'll figure it out later.
That's it. And it's happened to come in to this trip.
Okay.
And it's growing very quickly. Everybody that looks at Barbara's card says, yeah, that's great.
Spiritual entertainment.
Yeah, because that's who she is. And so the extent of what we're given is rather hidden, but it's massive each time. So when I was told that I would have to open up to the world, there were no arrangements made.
They didn't tell you how that was going to happen?
Not at all.
And you just said, okay.
And away we went, and it's happening.
Yeah.
People are listening, and I'm not controlling anything.
Well, let's get, I mean, I'm really curious about all the mystical, odd things that happen, because I think the more people talk about that, the more they know it's a reality, and not to doubt it when it comes up in their life.
Fine.
Yes?
The first thing I remember is standing outside the car in total silence. This is on a busy freeway.
Okay.
Total silence. Looking at the truck that had run into me and looking at the car and looking in on my body. And I looked and saw that spiral that people talk about.
Like the tunnel?
Yeah. But I actually could look both ways. You
could look at the tunnel, you could look at this world.
And I was looking through a tunnel at this world. At my body. And I remember entering the body and having major difficulty. Was it like you were beamed down here in a sense? I mean, that part of it's not with me.
Okay, but you somehow...
I was just there.
And that's the first thing you remembered after?
Yep.
You were just there.
And then the frustration of trying to make hands work.
It sounds so cinematic. You know, you were there and then you went into the body. And
I can remember that frustration of not being able to communicate with them.
With the body.
Yeah. But didn't know anything about it at the time. I remember. Everything at the time was sort of wiped out until I started writing. So there's a period of probably a couple of months before I started to write, and the actual memories came back. And they're very, very, very clear.
What memories from where you came from, you mean?
Memories of the accident.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
I see.
Somehow I ended up getting in the body and standing outside the car. Physically got out of the car. And they don't know how I did it.
The broken body, the fractured.
I was outside the car and this nurse turned up.
On the highway?
On the highway. And it was still silent.
It was still solid?
Totally silent.
What was solid? The nurse?
Everything around me was silence.
Silent. Okay.
Silence, yes.
Okay. Silent.
Quiet.
Okay. And the nurse was there?
Yeah. And she made sure I was comfortable and put me in the back seat.
Back seat of?
Of the damaged car.
Oh, she put you were outside and then you went back into the damaged car?
Yeah. So then a doctor arrived. And somehow the nurse disappeared, and the doctor said to me, "Where's the driver?" And I said, "I'm the driver," and he didn't believe me, checked me over, and then the paramedics arrived, and the doctor seemed to disappear. And the paramedics actually said that they saw the accident and he turned half the crew around to go and get the clean-up gear because they didn't think there'd be anybody. And so I tried to check to find out whether the doctor was available so that I could thank him and the nurse. No record anywhere. So I believe they were there to help me.
What did the doctor do for you?
He just made sure my heart was okay and that I was sitting comfortably for the ambulance to arrive.
So they could have been from another realm, these beings, probably.
Yeah. I really think that's the case.
Yeah. And then they took you...
Put me in an ambulance, yes. And I was fine. I felt fine.
You weren't in pain?
No.
No pain?
None at all.
Wow. Throughout the whole rehabilitation, there was no...
No, there was later on. But during the accident and going back in the ambulance, I remember the attendant or whoever was looking after me going, "Oh," as we went around the corner, and I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Oh, your bones are crunching everywhere every time we go around the corner." I said, "Oh, that's interesting."
You didn't feel, was it because maybe you were in shock, or?
Well, that's how it seems, but I know that we're looked after very, very well in any accident. I
see. So you weren't maybe even fully in the body totally?
Probably.
Yeah.
But back at the hospital, there came a point where I had to say I've had enough, and I was shutting down, and then the normal recovery cycle started, and that took 5 years.
Right.
But there are some funny things in there as well.
Okay.
I remember the tow truck driver turned up and borrowed my pen, which was quite a good pen, you know. And then he puts his piece of paper on the trunk of the car, and it was quite a nice car. And he starts writing things out, and I said, "Don't write on the car. You ruin the paintwork."
This was after the car was smashed up.
Total.
I see.
Yeah, it was about half as long as a car normally is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The front seat was actually sticking out through the windscreen.
Wow. So now you're here as this person. Are you like constantly amazed in some way? I mean, what goes on for you day to day?
I'm totally happy. And the other thing is, I'm totally comfortable no matter what.
You're totally happy. What does it mean to be happy?
The definition that we have in this world is quite different to feeling all the special effects of being looked after by your Creator and all your friends and all your galactic friends and all the friends around you. And I feel that all the time.
You feel looked after and nurtured and loved
all
by...
the time, yeah.
But what does that have to do with happiness?
That is happiness.
Feeling nurtured by the universe?
Yes. Yeah. The sense of happiness or the definitions that I see we have in the physical world are a little bit different for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anybody has got it wrong, but...
Well, but they're not happy. I don't see a lot of happy people out there.
That's right.
But you're saying just pulling in this expanded awareness, living in this...
Yep.
So if I feel like my head's out this far...
You'll know it.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
That's the essence of it, and then everything is brilliant from there on. You'll notice your colours are brilliant. There are more colours. Everything's new every day. Did you know that the universe renews everything for you every 24 hours?
No, what do you mean?
You go to sleep, your whole life force is taken out, given a big scrub, and fed back in the morning. Totally new, totally refreshed. And if you don't reload
all the junk,
all your past history, all your junk, well, then it's gone. So that's why young children can get up so happy. And you can actually, if they don't, you can send them back to bed and tell them to try again.
So each morning we're refreshed, new day.
Yep.
It's totally a different universe in a way.
That's true. And with the new energies that are in the earth, there is no ability to maintain problems or trouble or negativity. You'll notice that even the negative ads have to go more often now. Otherwise it disappears. The effect of it disappears.
What about people who have passed over? Where do they go? What's the connection between here and there?
It's totally connected.
I mean, are they still here?
Yeah.
Well, how's your experience of that?
You feel them all the time. You've only got to have a bit of a thought and you feel them. Your relatives, your friends, all those who are close to you. And sometimes a special person who's mentioned to you, and tears will come to your eyes. They're here. And we can try to explain that, but you've got to start into the multidimensional world.
Well, let's talk about that. But the tears are the recognition of the presence.
Of the feeling, yeah. And the love.
So but thank you. The multidimensional world is what? Let's talk about those levels of existence that seem to be all around us.
Okay, but we'll just go back a fraction. And just show you how simple some of the things are.
Okay.
I had some problems with people understanding that when something special happens to you, they've got to allow it to stay in the world.
They got what?
They should allow that special event to stay in the world instead of turning it off and saying it didn't happen.
Like what? Give me.
I repaired myself. Remember I spoke. I was working with the trees and I worked.
Trees, yeah.
There were several very significant instructions that I used to get because I had difficulty walking.
Oh, I see.
And I was told to just develop my energy out and make it like a hovercraft. And then let it go down and lift me up. And then I'd go out and I'd walk around the oval. And I was told to follow the running track. It was a 400-metre running track with my eyes shut. Ran into the fence many times.
Okay.
But eventually I found I could feel everything.
Right.
And I could move around.
Yeah.
Then I was told to turn around and do it backwards. That's quite difficult.
Yeah, but you felt the feel. You were getting aware of the feeling, of the energies.
And had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, but all of a sudden, because it was so difficult, I found myself looking down and seeing what I'm doing. And that's what they were pushing me towards.
Actually, I used to do a practice like that at a mystery school, or the Rampa school. We'd be blindfolded for days and be out there walking. Yeah. And I had some of those experiences.
So that is a natural thing in life. If you develop yourself to a point where you need assistance outside of what you've already got, you will jump out of your body and go into the multi-dimensional world where you can look down on yourself.
Oh, and from there we just gain that bigger awareness.
Yeah, and we'll go into that again in a second. Yeah. Also, I had one leg which was about that round. Right. And the other one was normal because of the damage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And knee was large. And I was going on this 8-day camp that I told you about, that I sent the message for. And I was sitting up in amongst the trees, and I thought to myself, well, I've got to do something about this. And all of a sudden I got the idea that if I took a photocopy of that leg and put it on there, that leg would know what to do. You took a picture of that leg and put it on the picture on this leg? Yeah. Because of the resonance of the field. Yeah, okay. And it just felt right to do that. Yeah. And within 5 minutes, this leg was the same size as that. In 5 minutes? Yeah. Wow. And the people that saw it were amazed and confused to the extent that they had to block it out of their life. Right. Because I was going to ask how that's possible, but how is any of this possible? How is any of it possible? Yeah. So there's many events happen around me like that, with myself and with other people. Now, if we go into the multi-dimensional world, you'll see how this all comes together. Yeah. When we talk about multi-dimensional, you've got to remember that for everybody, the first connection to them is the Creator. The first connection to you is your Creator, or your God, or your source. My soul, my spirit. Yep. Is that what you? Yeah. First connection. Yeah. So with that being the case, there can be no hierarchy. Because we've all got the first connection.
The eternal presence. Okay, yes. So we all got that, yes.
Yep. So in a multidimensional sense, you don't have hierarchy.
Right. That's what I was trying to get to, that you didn't need simian whispering because you are the source.
Yeah.
Right.
So in that multidimensional world, if I say to you, you're going to be on an aeroplane, look down on the Alps, be in India, be in your mother's place, have a look at the other side of the state, be on the other side of the room, you just say, yeah, and you're there. There's no thought, you're just there.
Right.
And then on top of that, I say, look down on the stars, you go, oh, righto. So that is the sense of being everywhere.
Right.
And everyone can do that.
Right.
And when I talk to someone, that's the person I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. The universal you.
That's the recognition.
Yeah.
Right.
And that universal you is multidimensional.
Right.
That's how it works. So anything that we present to one another in a multidimensional sense will make it feel perfect.
So like what? What would you present to me in a multi-dimensional sense?
I presented to you that I knew you. And that's enough.
Okay. So then this whole awareness we can definitely use for healing our bodies. I mean, and you could heal anything in that way.
Yep.
So how would you actually do that for people who are really needing that?
There are so many different ways, as you know.
Yeah.
But most of it is the same as holding the seat.
Right.
To learn the push bike.
Yeah.
We call them push bikes in Australia.
Right.
Or bicycles, yeah.
Right.
But it's exactly that. If you can hold that specific energy for them until they are happy to take over, it will be healed.
So you hold a feeling of love and nurturing and caring.
Everything. You've got to transmit everything to a person, how their body even works. Let them take from you the experience of your body. Of
your healthy body.
Yeah. And if you've had an experience of anything, they can pick it up. If you haven't ridden a bike, you can't hold the seat. It won't work.
That's interesting. That's amazing. That'd be a good experiment.
Yeah.
Wow. So for you, do you go out, have fun? I mean, you have a social life, you have a partner. I mean, but
I enjoy life. I'm a connoisseur of life.
Right, but that stuff in a way doesn't matter.
That is the most important thing. Because you see the beauty of it. You experience the beauty of everything. It doesn't matter if someone says it's wrong. I like to then have a try. Because it's different for me.
But you have this awareness, and then you're also living a normal life, or they're the same for you in a way. I mean, or
not quite.
Tell me that, because then you're in the play world sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. While I'm in there, I need support. I need a lot of support.
But why even go to the play world once you know you're in this other expanded place?
Because that's the project I took on.
Oh, you took on the project to live in both worlds.
And to actually allow people to see the world of your creator in living in the play world. So that they get the opportunity to open up the big filter and try it on themselves.
So you said you're also here to open up, have an open...
Yep.
But that's sort of your work. So just let's talk about that a little bit. How are you doing that? I mean, I know it's just coming to you, but there's some kind of plan, it seems, in the works, if you want to.
Most of it's exposure to those who have been looking. Many special people have come onto this earth with a specific project to help the earth and the world and everything around it to elevate to a point that is known in history.
A point that's known in history as
I suppose the New World.
A new heaven, new earth, whatever you want to call it. Yes,
yeah.
I see. And we're coming to that point. That's
we
right. But is there?
Now, every one of those people are in a position where they need to be able to see a picture of what they're doing.
Okay.
The picture doesn't come through the physical sense, and that's why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay. I knew there was a reason I was doing it. Yeah.
Because it doesn't come in a physical sense. It comes through exposure to the multidimensional picture, the hologram of repetition.
Of repetition.
The hologram of repetition from elevated beings will produce the whole picture for everyone.
That confidence that they're inputting, holding the bicycle seat, is they're inputting it into the earth now until we can.
Correct. So you put some in, I put some in, Roland puts some in, many others.
Yeah.
And it starts to build that multidimensional, invisible picture that is so obvious. You wonder why you got eyes.
Because it's right. It's obvious to you. I mean,
Yes.
and sometimes me. But so we're building. Is there a point that you see that clicks in? Is there a date? Is there?
It already clicked in 2003.
Ah, okay.
And now everybody's getting used to it.
I see.
So all the predictions that came up until that point, we diverted. All of catastrophes disappeared because we all decided we'd better pull back on the stick before this earth crashes. And that is the power of the human being. Now, we're not taking anything from the regular human being. We're the visitors.
Yeah, where they want to play, they can play.
And they will do a great job. And they are masters. And you'll sit beside some masters that don't understand a thing about what you're doing, but their mastery of the earth is amazing.
They're doing it in their way.
And they're not doing what we need. They're doing what's needed so we can do what we need. So my navigation around this earth, I have no idea how to do that, but it's happening.
But why do we need any of this? If we're the eternal being and this is just play, why is there this transformation anyway? What's the point of that?
We made a decision that we would have two earths, two worlds when we came here. And to experience that is phenomenal. But now that experience is actually a subset of the whole. And when you improve it to a point where you say, that's perfect, you're fine, you've got a copy of perfection.
So we can live more fuller, more developed, more evolved.
And when you've got a copy of perfection, you're going, and then perfection comes up alongside it, and you have the ability to step into perfection and not have to maintain it. You're going to step into the perfection.
Yeah, because it's more fun. It's
right.
Lighter. It's happier.
And so everybody who decided that they would have a play world of knowledge is getting to the point where they almost got it to the stage of, that's a good copy for this moment, I'd better get off because next week it's going to die.
Wait, say that again?
I've got a copy of perfection.
Of the happiness of perfection,
yeah. But I'd better jump over to the eternal perfection really quickly because next week that's going to start on the way down because the world of the play world, in the play world, everything deteriorates and everything goes back to the way it was.
And we're going to this higher level. Actually, somebody said, it wasn't on this program, but they said this is our last chance for suffering and limitation.
Yep. Because
we've done it. We're moving into a place where we'll have new experiences.
Actually, there's no chance of suffering anymore unless you do it yourself.
Well, people are always doing it themselves, though. They always have.
No, they haven't.
No.
In the past, someone else's suffering could affect you. It would hang around. It was like smog.
But you said you sometimes walk through people's things and you have to unclog it.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
I'm fairly sensitive to what's left there for a very, very short period. People generally can walk through that sort of thing now, and it will disappear in the end of the day, and they don't really need any assistance. It's I suppose I am a little bit more sensitive to having to live with the source energy, and if I lose that a tiny bit, I deteriorate very quickly.
If you lose this connection, if you forget.
Yes. Because most of my injuries are repaired, but not in the sense of they're physically back to normal. So I've still got some broken parts, but they work. So everybody has that sort of thing, where they've got over something, but if they get some bad weather or a bump or something like that, it affects them more than normally would. Well, I'm a bit more sensitive.
Is it because maybe, I mean, just thinking that most of us are finished with the human experience, we've completed this, we've incarnated lifetime after lifetime, and we've had this level of limitation of human suffering. We've had it, we've owned it, we know what it's like, and there's this greater, maybe perfected world that we're moving into that we don't know yet. So, like you're saying.
But we're bringing with it everybody and everything around us. So we're taking the world into that vibration. So many of us say, oh, we come from some other planet. I can assure you that in 2012 you'll put the T-shirt on that says, I come from Earth.
Wait, talk about that. What do you mean?
Because Earth is being elevated much higher than any other place that most of us have ever been.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And 2012, it's sort of like, you know, the clutch is in and you lift up and then we're going to the next gear.
Yeah.
And so what do you see happening in 2012?
It'll be transparent. But the measurement system of everything will be totally different.
The measurement system, how?
Of what's good for us, what's good for the Earth, how we live. The rules will disappear. The requirements and the needs that we have will be zero.
The old rules,
there'll be no more.
And we'll be happy, like you say, we'll be.
I am now. And everybody can do that now.
But they won't have I mean, they'll be more obvious in 2012 that's.
Yeah. You have to switch probably into the world of your Creator probably, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 times a day now.
To keep reminding yourself of that.
Yes. In the future you won't have to.
Because the vibration of the physical and the spiritual will be more in alignment.
Yes.
Because that's just where we're going. It's just a natural cycle.
Yeah.
And then what will the world look like at that point?
From outer space, it'll look very much lighter and brilliant. From here, there'll be more translucent images. There'll be more knowledge of other dimensions. And we will communicate freely through all dimensions.
Thank you. That's great. And yeah, it's a nice place to kind of finish. But I do have a lot more questions. No, but I mean, and the ETs, the extraterrestrial life that's obviously abundant in the universe, will be here, interactive.
Yep.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Great. Anything else you want to share? I mean,
there are many things on the Earth that will indicate to you that this is happening.
Like
the birds, the animals in the wild, the trees.
What will happen?
They actually, if you walk into the woods and as soon as you get there, there's nothing around you.
Yeah.
And you decide you'll wait until they turn up. But in fact, what happens is you start to hear birds. So they've just opened the dimension for you, for sound.
Yeah.
Then they open the dimension for vision, and all of a sudden there's birds in front of you. They didn't just fly in, they're there. then there's a squirrel, and then they open that dimension, and they will open right back to the spirits that look after them.
Wow. And
that's happening now.
Yeah, the birds outside my window have been waking me up every day, making really loud, really like, I mean, that's...
They're allowing you to be part of their dimension.
And that's another doorway.
Yes.
So that's a sign that people can look for.
Yeah, and walking along, you'll feel yourself go through something. You'll feel that shiver. You're walking through a dimension.
I heard you can actually open these dimensions.
Yes.
Can we? Can we do?
It has to be in the right place at the right time. The biggest thing is you can't disturb anything. There is a. It's just like if something turned up in front of you right now, you'd be shocked.
Right. So you have to prepare.
Yes. And then you allow people to join you, so that they can feel it.
Can we do that sometime? I mean,
we can do it sometime, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I have some friends who have a vortex on their land that I bet we could do that.
Yeah.
And when you open up these doorways and walk through this, what's the sense you get?
Well, the main sense is a knowing that you're communicating right throughout the universe.
Okay. I want to take you to some places, see what we can do. Thank you. I mean, you can come back and talk about what's unfolding for you anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great pleasure, Alan.
Anything else I need to know?
Well, I only know what I know, and there could be more. I have no idea.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. I've been talking to Robert Young from everywhere and nowhere. This is Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. Thank you for watching. You can look at my website for this video and others at newrealities.com. You can email me at newrealities@earthlink.net. Thank you for watching. Good night. Okay.